Hello everybody and welcome to Little Red Mushroom Pet. Just a little warning, this is a very spooky game, has some darker themes, so if you're not about that, heads up on that up front. Are you certain you don't need me to come along, Penelope? The journey to town is a long one. Just follow the path and you'll be there by noon. Do not stray for any reason. You have the list I gave you, yes? Of what you need to do before returning home? Sell everything in your basket and come back with fresh food and materials for the week. Only take what you can safely carry home, and don't think about stealing. I'm not worrying too much, Penelope. The last time you went on your own, why, I still have nightmares about it. Listen to me, Penelope. If you ever find yourself losing your way, do not follow the crows. They will lead you straight to death. Do you understand? I hope you mean that earnestly. You best be on your way now. If you wait too much longer, you might not make it home before nightfall. Please, please return home in one piece, alright? Love you. I love that. It's great. Good art. Good arts. Very good. It's the first step Penelope has taken outside without her mother by her side for years. The girl has gone out to town countless times, so the path is practically ingrained into her head. With the morning sun lighting up the way, she has no worries about getting lost in the sea of trees. Basket in hand, filled to the brim with goodies, she makes the long trip to town with a slight skip in her step. Living deep in the woods is uneventful. With the girl's only family being her mother, and having no real friends to speak of, Penelope's day-to-day life is more of the same. Once a week, the two go to town on the outskirts of the forest to sell and deliver handmade clothes and baked goods. These weekly trips are enough to help them get by and live comfortably on their own terms. I'm on my way now. Although her feet eventually ache from all the walking, Penelope smiles ear to ear the entire time. Everything turns out perfectly. In what must have been no time at all, Penelope's basket is empty, and just as quickly it fills up with new trinkets and supplies to bring home to Mother. Before she leaves, the town's orphanage kindly offers her a free meal, giving her the energy she needs before the long road ahead. They offer her a bed to sleep in for the night, but she declines. With the sun still awake, albeit obscured by clouds, Penelope figures she can easily return home before dark. She bids the townsfolk goodbye and promises to come again next week. Come on, little mushroom girl, let's go. It's already getting dark. Penelope mumbles to herself as she follows the path home. Rain descends from the growing clouds, causing her to shiver. Just follow the path, don't stray for any reason. Not much further, I'm almost home. She marches on with firm steps that slosh against the wet grass and the mud. Determined, she doesn't cast her eyes away from the shrouded path. Bum bum bum! It's a crow. Look at the little sad face, that's adorable. In the middle of her path stands the silhouette of a bird. The details are near impossible to make out in this lighting, but the eyes shine like the moon itself. Penelope stops in her tracks, staring the creature down. For a moment, she wonders if it could even be a bird with bird at all with such glossy eyes. I'm trying to get home. Can you move? The bird doesn't respond. Of course it doesn't, because it can't. But it does not even budge at Penelope's words. Tired, she sighs and steps toward it instead. Once she is close enough, the bird flies away in the direction of her house. Something flutters from the sky, catching Penelope's attention. She kneels down on the ground to take a closer look. Stuck to the ground is a black feather. A crow, huh? She leaves the feather in place and stands up. She figures she's wasted enough time. She hesitates before walking again, an unsettled feeling bubbling in her chest. A wave of relief washes over Penelope when she sees her house in the distance. She ignores the ache in her feet as she runs up to her home, motivated by the desire to wrap herself in a warm and cozy blanket. I'm home. I just want to lie down and... Huh? When she reaches the front of the house, she realizes something is... off. There's a faint odor coming from inside. Something slightly sweet, akin to honey. That alone is nothing for Penelope to worry about, but... Why is the door open? A beam of light peeks out from the opening of the door. An overwhelming string of anxiety ties a knot in her throat, which she forces herself to swallow down. She takes a cautious step toward the door and gently pushes it open. Mother, I'm home. Is everything... My mother? Penelope drops her basket, its contents sprawling out on the splattered floor. The scent of honey sweet becomes sickening. It overwhelms Penelope's senses, making her head spin and vision blur with tears. It doesn't make sense. That's a lot of strawberry jelly. She's seen her fair share of dead animals in the past. The sight and scent of bloodshed is nothing new to her. But there's no denying that what lies before her is the corpse of her own mother. It doesn't make any sense at all. Sorry. What happened? This is a nightmare, right? A bad dream? How could this... I have to get out of here. Penelope rushes out of the house, back into the raging storm. She's set to follow the path to town, running at full speed. However, within the pitch-black night and walls of trees, it's a struggle to tell left apart from right. The town, if I can make it back to town, somebody can help me. I just have to keep going. Visions, memories, emotions, and nausea all spiral inside her, creating a horrid cacophony in her mind and body. But still, she runs. She runs and runs and runs, passing by the same few trees again and again. She can look down at her feet, but she cannot see a path before her. She runs and runs and runs, the reverberating cry of a crow overtaking the sound of brutal rainfall. She can look behind her, but what's the point? She loses her balance and falls onto the harsh ground. Like a marionette with its strings cut, she lies unmoving. She weeps in her arms, staining her dirty, wet sleeves further. Lost, alone, and stuck in the dark, she has to wonder if there's any point in getting up. She hears the hungry cry of an animal. Thought crosses her garbled mind, sticking out among the never-ending clamor. If things are to end this way, it will be torturous, agonizing, cruel, but at least it will end. Living deep in the woods was uneventful. With the girl's only family now gone, there isn't much reason for her to go on. She has no real friends to speak of, she has no particular hopes for the future, she has nothing. I am on my own now. She inhales, breath and body trembling, before closing her eyes. Whoa. Do a quick little, just in case. Oh, return. The fangs of a wolf do not pierce her skin. The claws of a bear do not rip into her heart. Instead, a gentle tap meets her arm again and again. When she doesn't respond, the tapping speeds up, growing forceful. It's painful, but not enough to do anything more than leave a few scratches or bruises. It's more annoying than anything else. Grumbling, Penelope finally lifts her head to see what it could be. A familiar set of glowing eyes greet her, staring down intently. Exhausted, Penelope waves it away with a limp hand and pleads in a broken voice. Go away. Wait till I'm dead before you eat me. The crow moves out of the way of her hand, but doesn't leave. She soon plants her face in her arm again, only for the bird to peck at her again. She croaks out a sob. Why do you always have to haunt me? Leave me alone already. Another swat, but the crow is persistent, simply switching sides instead. Defeated, Penelope closes her eyes again, ready to block the animal out. She feels every peck both heavy and light, but she dares not to grant it a reaction. She wishes for nothing more than to rest. Do you, mother, you, Eddie, crow, follow the muffled voice of a man wakes her up. It's completely foreign to her. Even if she ran through names and faces of townsfolk, she doubts she could find a match. It fades in and out, every sentence left incomplete. She lifts her head again, looking around. To her confusion, there doesn't seem to be anyone around. The crow has stopped its attack, eyes still locked on her. All she can do is laugh pitifully. I'm going crazy. She slowly sits up, unable to pay any mind to the filthy state of her skin and clothes. She wipes the tears from her eyes to no avail. The crow tilts its head as if it wants to ask her something. Follow the crow, is that right? I'd be disobeying Mother if I do, but... Her words trail off, gaze now fixated on the crow. Though her body aches and her breath wavers, she eventually stands up. In response, the crow spreads its wings and flies away. The silhouette is difficult to pick out, but the glow of its eyes are easy enough for Penelope to follow. Wait, don't leave me behind! Her legs wobble beneath her, but she doesn't allow herself to topple over. Just as she did before, she runs, having no intent of looking back. Like a star in the night, the crow lights up her path. He pushes her way through trees and foliage, trampling through flowers, ignoring the cries of any other animals. Follow, you'll... Okay. The journey feels endless, but before she knows it, the crow swoops down and lands on the dead grass. Penelope slows until stopping entirely, completely out of breath. We're here. Before Penelope's eyes stands a house she's never seen. She instinctually takes a step back as she feels her heart pounding in her head. Horrified, she holds her breath. What is this place? The walls of the home are covered top to bottom in a pulsating red mass. It glistens in the downpour, helping it stand out against the sea of desolate trees. Penelope swallows thickly, resisting the urge to puke from the pungent stench of rot. She looks to the crow as if it could give her any answers. It seems unfazed by the overwhelming display. Has this house always existed? I've heard stories of edible houses before, but I didn't think it'd be... I mean, I guess she is a mushroom, right? Like, mushrooms feed on dead things? It's interesting that she calls the house edible. Because that means, like, she sees dead house as food. Hey, don't leave me. I don't want to get any closer. Ah! The crashing thunder makes Penelope crouch, covering her ears. The tears burn her eyes, and the tear at her heart is enough to kill her where she stands. Okay, fine, I'll go. Just make the storm stop, please. She follows the crow to the front door, squinting her eyes in pain. It's so gross. Does someone actually live here? There's no way, right? She holds her hand out, hoping to put off touching the house for as long as she can. She may have seen her fair share of dead animals, but feeling their entrails is an entirely different story. In the midst of all her fear and confusion, She attempts to rationalize the situation in her head. She can't help but wonder if there's even a difference between the best or worst case scenario right now.
Please, do it. This is your only option now.
Bracing herself for whatever comes next, Penelope opens the door. The interior is identical to the outside. Crimson viscera decorates the walls, and there's next to no discernible furniture to speak of. It's dark and damp, but surprisingly warm compared to the storm outside. She takes a step inside, the crow following behind her. The whirling wind shuts the door forcefully.
Hello? Is anybody there? Here?
Her voice shakes with every word. She doesn't budge from her spot as she awaits a reply.
I got lost. I need a place to stay. So if anyone is here, please come out.
Every second that passes in silence feels agonizing. The only sounds that can be heard are the pouring rain and the occasional drip of fluid from the swelling walls. What am I doing? Sorry, wrong voice.
What am I doing? I'm asking for trouble. A place like this isn't livable at all. Not for a human. What was that?
The sound of a door opening echoes from up the stairs, soon followed by footsteps. Penelope holds her breath, hand hovering over her heart without realizing it.
Oh me, oh my. I have not heard a voice like that before. A visitor, could it be? Oh dear, oh goodness, if only I knew this would happen beforehand, I would have picked up around the house a little. Please wait a moment, I'll be down soon.
Sorry, the voice is rough on my throat. The voice is light and airy, though unidentifiable as either male or female. Penelope stands still, eyes darting around the home anxiously. The wait must have been only a few minutes, but time has slowed to an unbearable crawl. Finally, a freakishly tall yet slim figure emerges from the top of the stairs. Oh, you're interesting. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense for a house made of flesh, for the person to also be like a Frankenstein. Whoever did the art for this game did a great job. Like, oh my gosh, like, look at this. This is awesome. I love all the stitch work. The fact that she's missing a finger is a nice touch. Has the eyes are interesting. It's kind of interesting that on this one, the mushroom is actually growing off of her instead of being like a little hat like this one. Like she's dead and they're feeding off the dead flesh stuff, I guess.
I apologize for the wait. I just had to take a moment to clean the bedroom, just in case.
The being's appearance is uncanny, an amalgamation of human and not. Though her skin is pale, almost sickly, her head and arms are littered with blood-red stitches, connecting them with false flesh. She gingerly walks down the stairs, putting great thought into every step she takes. The movements seem unnatural, trained in a way, but she does it all with a smile. She faces Penelope, mismatched eyes unopened yet still taking note of the child's appearance. She pauses just before the final step, expression shifting for just a moment before returning to a welcoming smile.
I see you've brought a friend, little one. Could you remind me what their name is?
Before Penelope has the opportunity to register the question, the woman suddenly turns her attention straight to the crow. She casts her head down towards it, still standing straight. Penelope's mouth opens, but not a sound escapes her. She watches the display in bewilderment.
Penelope. Her name is Penelope. And don't call me little one. You know real well how I feel about that sort of label.
Penelope stares down at the crow with wide eyes, her brain lagging severely. Her legs quake beneath her as she steps back.
You...
The echoes of the voice ring in her head. It's deep and masculine, identical to the one that carried her through the forest. But how is it coming from a crow? And why? Those luminous eyes peer into Penelope. She yelps involuntarily and cowers. The woman covers her mouth as she giggles. She mumbles something to herself, but it's completely incoherent.
Of course, Penelope, how could I forget? Did Crow not introduce himself to you before? I was under the impression you two had some sort of...
Her words trail off. She shakes her head and moves on. She claps her hands together, a large grin dawning her face.
Well, I suppose it only makes sense that we all become acquainted with each other, yes? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Amanita. I've lived in this house for a while now. May you make yourself comfortable here. As for this old soul, you may simply call him Crow.
Nice to finally meet you for real, Penelope.
For real? For real?
The voices are all mixing together. A myriad of thoughts and questions overflow in Penelope's head. Those words stick out among the rest. Unfortunately, she doesn't have time to linger on anything for long, as the being named Amanita speaks up again.
It has been quite some time since a human has visited this place. I imagine it will not be ideal for you, but it will keep you out of the rain.
Okay, so we are human. Or at least we appear to be. Okay. It's weird that she referred to this house as edible earlier, though. If that is true. Or, I have questions.
Right.
Penelope wraps her arms around herself, flicking her thumbs against the fabric of her sleeves. Her eyes dart all over the place, yet fail to focus on anything around her. Amanita hums, the curl of her lips faltering slightly.
You appear quite antsy, Penelope. I must admit I feel a similar way. Would you care for a cup of tea to help your nerves? Tea?
Penelope perks up ever so slightly at the mention of a drink. A warning bell goes off in her head. Witches are said to offer their targets food and drink to lull them into a false sense of security, before consuming them whole. But the girl is far too dehydrated and ridden with despair to truly care.
Tea sounds nice. Thank you, Miss,
She stumbles over her own words, her voice shaken and quiet, but Amanita pays it no mind.
And I will have it ready in a moment. I have a couch you may sit on, so please make yourself comfortable till I return. I'm sure Crow will keep you company.
Amanita bids a quick goodbye before heading towards what's assumed to be the kitchen, or whatever passes for a kitchen in a place like this. Penelope stands still, stunned in place for a moment, before the crow speaks up. Penelope stands still, stunned in place before the crow speaks up. Did that just repeat itself? Okay, yeah, it did. I was like, am I? Sorry, that threw me off. Well, what do you say? Your feet must be sore from all that ground you've covered today. Not that you can get comfortable in a place like this, but at least you can rest for a minute.
You talk.
Sure do.
But that's impossible. This is all impossible. Mother dying, animals talking, houses made of blood, witches, none of it's actually real.
You can deny it as much as you want, but it's too late to run away now. Come on, kid. You'll get dizzy if you keep standing.
I don't want to.
Penelope cuts herself off as she feels tears brew in her eyes again. She blinks them away and wipes her face for good measure.
Fine.
She sniffles, taking heavy footsteps to the living room. She analyzes the mound of viscera sitting in the room that hardly resembles any piece of furniture she's familiar with, but it's the closest thing to a couch in this room. She looks down at it, her bottom lip quivering and stomach turning in revulsion. Her body sinks into the cushion, a squelching sound in her ears. She brings her legs up to her chest and hugs her knees tightly.
It's so gross. I shouldn't be here.
The crow hops up on the couch beside Penelope. She looks down at him through bleary eyes.
Mother was right. Crows lead you straight to death. I'm such a fool. Rather be eaten by a wolf than this, but the storm, I can't stand the storm.
Yeah, them storms can get a little rough, especially when you're in the middle of them.
I'll suffer no matter what I do, huh? At least here I'll get some tea. I guess I can look forward to that.
Man, I'd be worried about whatever liquid she's using to make that tea. I doubt this house has actual plumbing. Do you think Amanita is gonna hurt you?
Penelope
laughs pitifully. What a silly question, she thinks. But perhaps it makes sense for a beacon of bad luck to side with a witch.
She's going to eat me, right? I've heard the stories. There's a witch in the forest who lives in an edible house. She'll feed you and take care of you only to swallow you whole. Mother told it to me again and again, even if the people in town would ask me about it. I didn't think it could actually be true, though.
You know, an assumption like that is...
Are you here, Penelope?
Oh, thank goodness, I've just finished some tea. Here's your cup.
Be careful, it's rather hot.
Penelope mumbles a quiet thank you as Amanita hands her a small teacup. A faint aroma hits Penelope's nose, so it's hard to distinguish from the intense scent of the house. The cup itself is pure white, chipped in a few places and stained from overflowing liquid, but still pleasing to the eyes. As Penelope admires the sight, Amanita sits down as well, sipping on her own drink. So, Penelope, where is it you might come from? This part of the forest is especially separate from society. It would take hours for someone to discover this place.
Uh-huh.
Penelope brings her attention to Amanita, blinking rapidly. She frowns, lamenting on what to say.
I've lived here since I was born. And I, ran away. Got lost, that's all.
Penelope's eyes shifted away from Amanita, focusing on the crow instead. He glowers, questioning her without words. She shivers and slightly stutters.
Really, that's all. I don't have anybody waiting for me at home, so I'm going to town when this is over. They can help me. I think so, at least. I see.
Amanita comments in a dejected tone as her lips curl downward.
Well, it is quite fortunate you were able to find a community who may support you. Am I here as well to help you until then, you see? But I am here as well to help you until then, you see. This home might be a mess, but it's really not that bad once you get used to it. I myself have grown quite fond of it.
The witch smiles again. The shift is so quick it's as if she never frowned in the first place. A string of anxiety weaves into a ball in Penelope's throat. I just want to say, I think it's a nice detail that she assumes she was a witch and narrator's calling her that, but she's not, never, like, this is all just context, right? Like, she's not confirmed to be a witch. I think by looking at this house and her, you can tell this is all like patchwork flesh. It's very weird. but doesn't necessarily mean witch. Definitely some kind of weird mystical creature stuff going on, but not necessarily witch. I don't think they've said she's a witch, actually. I think it's just her assuming. The witch smiles again. The shift is so quick as if she never frowned in the first place. A string of anxiety weaves into a ball in Penelope's throat.
Thank you. Miss, can I ask you something as well? Of course, please go ahead. I will happily lend a listening ear.
Penelope swallows thickly, hoping to rid herself of her fears. Her voice quivers and cracks with every word, like she's on the verge of tears again.
If you're going to eat me, can you go ahead and do it already? Excuse me?
Just like, hold up. For the first time since coming here, Amanita's voice raises, not loud enough to make Penelope jump, but still enough to make her shrink.
Eat you? Oh, dear child, do you truly believe that?
I suppose my face is not a pretty sight, but something so gruesome such as that, why, I could never dream of it. I have no need to eat in the first place. The woman lets out broad laughter, her stilted smile never faltering. Overjoyed she might seem, if not for the quake in her voice.
It's mere paranoia, yes. A simple paranoia. You must be startled. This situation would be troubling for anyone. So I cannot blame you if you find yourself cowering in fear. And that's why I shall help you at any given moment. Perhaps we can start by having you drink your tea. Surely it must be cool by now.
Her words come out hastily, never allowing herself a chance to breathe until she stops speaking entirely. Silence deafens the room. The only sound is heavy, warm breath of the witch and the chattering of Penelope's teeth. Her hands, once holding the teacup so carefully as not to burn or cut her fingers, tremble. The obsidian liquid sputters and leaks out of the cracks and edges. Sorry about that. Her hands, once holding her teacup so carefully as not to burn or cut her fingers, tremble. The obsidian liquid sputters and leaks out of the cracks and edges. Having a drink doesn't seem so appealing anymore. With a dry throat, however, Penelope struggles to speak. Amanita, how about you give Penelope a moment to breathe? It's rather late for a kid her age. I'm sure some time alone and proper rest would do her well.
But she's scared, is she not? How could one sleep in a state such as this? Tea is the perfect remedy to all one's problems. Even just a single sip can lift your burdens off your shoulders. She should at least finish her cup before heading to... No, it's okay. I don't need it. I can sleep.
Oh?
I'm exhausted and I can fall asleep anywhere, so it's okay, really. Could you tell me where to go, miss?
Amanita pauses, giving Penelope's words an opportunity to settle in. She inhales and sets her cup down before standing up.
The bedroom is just up the stairs. Would you like me to lead the way? Okay.
Penelope nearly stumbles getting off the couch. More tea spills out of the cup, only to instantly be absorbed by the mushy floor. She notices, but doesn't bring attention to it. I'll come as well. The crow zips up the stairs, leaving the two behind.
Well, let's not leave him behind for much longer.
With her head held low, Penelope follows behind Amanita.
Are you going to have enough to drink, Penelope? I noticed some tea spilled out of your cup. I can make you a new one if you'd like. No? Oh, what a shame.
Amanita opens the door and steps inside, turning around to face Penelope and welcome her in. The crow, already perched on the windowsill, watches them from afar. Penelope stands in the doorway, taking in the room as much as she can. It's near identical to the rest of the home, lacking any notable furniture other than nondescript lards of viscera. While it should still be expected, Penelope still finds herself feeling queasy.
Here it is. I know it's not much, but please make yourself comfortable. You can place your cup here, hang your hat there, and sleep cozily here.
Amanita directs Penelope towards the corner of the room. The more she analyzes it, the less she makes sense of what's in front of her. She cannot resist scrunching up her nose at the thought of sleeping here.
That's the bed? Indeed. Is it going to be a problem?
Penelope hesitates. How can she say this is fine? Just sitting on the couch is mortifying enough. There's no way that she can handle this.
It's okay. Thank you.
She looks to the crow, but as always, he says nothing. How annoying, she thinks, but doesn't dare say a peep. Not right now. Amanita's head is turned down to face the child, seemingly delighted by Penelope's approval. Her voice, as sickeningly sweet as it might be, still feels deceptive.
I'm happy to hear that. Please do make yourself at home. If you need anything at all from me, do not hesitate to call my name. But now, if you don't have any more questions for me, I suppose I'll be on my way to let you rest.
Penelope falls silent. Of course she has questions. There isn't a single thing tonight that she has answers for. However, she hasn't the slightest feeling she can trust Amanita. That patient smile, the more Penelope looks at it, the deeper her skin starts to crawl. She turns her head away, but nothing around her is pleasing to look at either. With nothing else to do, she heads toward the window.
You don't need anything.
She states bluntly, setting her teacup carefully down on what must be some sort of nightstand. It's just slanted on the lumpy surface, but she cannot be bothered if any more tea spills out. There's any point in caring, there's any point in asking questions. Maybe they'll be answered, but who's to say she'll be satisfied with it? How's anyone supposed to accept this as reality? Amanita, hospitable as always, does not allow her expression to falter. Instead, bows her head, hands stuck together, as if they can never be torn apart.
I see. Well, in that case, sleep well, Penelope. May the sun shine down on you tomorrow. And if you find yourself unable to close your eyes, remember the tea I made you. It can knock you out in no time.
You know, the whole, she is like putting so much focus on that tea. And like, I feel like this is like a double entendre. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but like they're like they have the creepy lady that seems like a witch to Penelope, trying to get her to drink the thing a bunch, right? And she's trying to get her to do all this, and it's like, or consume the liquid. And I'm gonna be honest, guys. Right now, I think she's honestly just nice and knows the tea will help her sleep. And I think that's all there is to it. I think it's just creepy because of the context and the house and all that. I think there's some weird stuff going on. But I actually think she's trying to be nice. I could be totally wrong on this. Totally wrong. Completely off. But, and maybe, you know, I'd die if I went to this house, so I would make the wrong call here. But I'm just saying, like, she seems like she's trying to be nice.
With those parting words, Amanita steps out of the room. She bids the crow goodnight as well before closing the door. Now that the witch is gone, Penelope's shoulders drop without her realizing it. She buries her head in her hands, muffling her hoarse whimper. At this point, she's run out of tears to cry. She wants to sleep, wants to wake up in her own home, her own bed, and get to eat breakfast with her mother again. She wants to cook with her, sew with her, anything and everything, even if she hates it. She slumps onto the bed, legs hanging off the edge. Pulsating flesh and rotten intestines stick to her skin and clothes. The sensation is unbearable.
She's never felt so filthy. She wishes her mother could still reprimand her for being so foolish. She wishes not to be alone anymore. She wishes that this story would end already. She wishes and wishes and wishes and wishes, but the thoughts soon stopped. A familiar, faint tap jabs her leg. Tough enough to hurt, but light enough not to leave a scar. Before she realizes what's happening, she slowly tilts her head to look down at the source. The crow's glossy eyes shine brightly like wishing stars. He pecks her again. Never once opening his beak, it seems he had flown over to her side at some point. Penelope frowns. That's right, she isn't alone. The bringer of death itself is here to quell her worries. How wonderful and how annoying. What are you doing? Making you awake, that's all. Weren't you the one who said I need a rest? You don't make any sense. The crow stops, clicking his tongue against the roof of his beak instead. I sure did, but I can't allow you to wallow and weep all on your own. I know my limits darn well, though. I can't brew you a cup of tea or any fancy stuff like that, but I've got eyes, ears, and wings. Penelope shifts down to properly face the crow, scooting completely onto the bed and keeping her knees close to her chest.
I just thought about, she has like such long hair. All that hair has to be covered in like house goop. Like, ew. That's gotta feel nasty.
Why does that matter? Where are you going with this?
I mean, I'll keep you alive. You're worried about a big bad wolf or evil witch eating you in your sleep, and I'll watch over you and make sure that that does not happen. And when the storm's said and done, I'll help you get on the trek to town. I know this forest better than the back of my hand, after all.
Penelope narrows her eyes. Whether it be a glare or exhaustion kicking in, it's unknown to her.
The vow might sound nice on paper, but she finds herself unable to trust the crow and his motives, and even then...
Doesn't matter if I get eaten or not. I don't need guidance anymore. Why try to help me anyway?
Why? Guess that's a fair question. Unfortunately, there's some things I can't exactly answer right now. Tell you what, any questions you've got for me, I'll answer them on the walk to town. I only want one thing in return.
And that's...
I just want to watch over you until the time comes. That's it. Once you start a new life, I'll bid you goodbye. You can forget about me, this house, Amanita, whatever. Nobody will hold it against you. So, do we have a deal? Penny?
Penelope does not speak. Unable to find words, she blankly stares down at the crow, her eyes drooping occasionally. It's a struggle to think coherently. But when she tries comparing her options, she doesn't see any genuine reason to decline the deal. There's no discernible difference between freedom and death right now. Regardless of this outcome, one pain shall disappear and substitute for another. Taking a deep breath, Penelope wipes her tired eyes and focuses her gaze as deeply as she can. Okay. It's a deal.
Oh, thank you. I'll keep my word. Just prioritize getting some rest, you hear?
Okay.
The girl's voice trails off as she feels her body growing weaker and weaker. She does what she can to make herself comfortable, but the efforts turn up futile. Her exhaustion can't care less about comfort. Before she can bid the crow goodnight, she drifts off. Once she's fallen unconscious, the crow returns to the windowsill. With unblinking eyes, he peers over her for as long as he is granted. Some things just never change, do they? Penny, what am I gonna do with you?
See, like, he obviously already knows her. And with the mom saying not to follow the crow, that means something happened before. that makes me wonder, like, if something happened while she was young, or if this crow's somebody in her life, but because, like, magic forest, fairy tale stuff, he's transformed. Like, for all I know, this could be her dad or something. I have no idea. Because Penny is very... For him to call her Penny, that means he, like, has... That's a nickname. That's not just out of nowhere.
Come on, kiddo. Let's get up and at 'em. Hold on a second. I'm still getting dressed. Don't leave without me.
There's no waiting when it comes to hunting. Don't you know the early bird gets the worm?
It's not hunting. It's bug catching. We aren't killing anything.
I hear ya. Get your butt out here already. What kind of critter are you looking for today?
I want a caterpillar.
Oh my god, she looks adorable.
Look at that! Ooh, the little bandage on her forehead. Oh my gosh!
Mother brought me that book from town, remember? About a caterpillar's life cycle. I want to see if she's telling the truth. It says they're found near trees and plants, and they can't move very fast, so they should be easy to catch.
And when you find it, what are you gonna do? Sit out and watch it till it's all grown up?
Why do you think I asked you to bring that jar? I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna hide it in my room and bring it flowers to eat, and I can watch it grow up into a butterfly. Mom says we can't keep any animals, but this is fine, right? She won't know about it anyway.
When did you get so rebellious, keeping secrets from your own mother? Seems Grandpa's been a bad influence on you. You know, if she finds out about this, she'll have my head on a pike.
She won't do that. Even if she wanted to, she'd have done it already. She's like, if Mom was gonna kill you, you've already committed enough sins to make that happen. It's basically what she just said.
Lay down, Grandpa. You're so loud it'll scare the bugs away.
You got me there, Penny. Well, you should know this old man can't be tied down by anything.
Tell Mother you let me go out alone.
I hear you. I'll keep it down just for a little while.
Nothing is as scary as the wrath of Mom.
I couldn't catch anything.
Cheer up, kiddo. We can try again tomorrow, can't we? On second thought, maybe not. Gotta have the house ready for when your mother returns. But we'll try again another day. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Grandpa, do you think I could ever become a real huntsman? Just like you?
Penny.
See, he calls her Penny. It's her grandpa.
Penny, you know your mother won't let you. Even the mention of it scares her half to death.
I know. If I can't even catch a single caterpillar, can I do anything at all? Mother can cook and go outside on her own. You can get us everything we need to keep living here. But I can't do anything, really.
Oh, don't be like that. You've got yourself lots of talents, Penny. You're a smart kid with a heart of gold. I swear every day you teach me something I would have never learned otherwise. Not many girls your age have the skills you do. You can read, write, draw, sew. I could go on. You know many adults here who can't do any of that? I would know. I'm one of them.
You can read and write.
Hardly. I'm losing skills with age, kiddo, but you keep me feeling spry. You're still real young, Penny. You've got an entire lifetime to learn how to improve at things. Never stop growing. You want to grow up to be a huntsman, then don't let anything stop you, got it? But don't feel like you have to become one just because it's what Grandpa does.
Okay, I understand.
There we go, that's my girl. Now head on inside. I'll follow you in a sec and we can have dinner.
Okay. Thanks, Grandpa. Things didn't turn out how I thought they would, but I still had fun today. Grandpa? Where did you go. It was just a dream.
Penelope frowns, rubbing her bleary eyes to rid them of tears. She stares down at the slimy lump of meat she's forced to call a blanket, rips it off her body with force. Why does this part have to be real? Tears threaten to spill again. Now that she's awake, she's painfully aware of every rotten sensation against her skin. She quickly escapes from bed, wiping all the grime off her clothes and body. Of course, nothing disappears and only contaminates her palms instead. Man, that's gotta be nasty. She sighs and gazes out the window. Rain pours down from the clouds, every drop crunching loudly without mercy. The storm hasn't calmed at all.
The storm hasn't calmed at all. But walking in the rain will clean me up, won't it? Maybe it's worth it.
Penelope goes quiet, waiting for a response. After a long pause, she looks around, her eyes scan the entire room. But she cannot find even a trace of the crow.
He left. Said he'd stay with me. Why did he lie? No, it's okay. I'm alive, so I shouldn't be upset.
Taking a deep breath, Penelope figures it's best to leave this suffocating bedroom. She grabs her hat, closes her eyes, and opens the door. She's gonna run right into her, isn't she?
She'll enjoy this, yes? Meat is a staple in any human diet, I think. What do humans eat again? If only I still knew how to cook.
How troubling still. Like you knew too, and don't... This is a Frankenstein, I know it. A familiar voice can be heard coming from the kitchen. Penelope stops in her tracks after climbing down the stairs, uncertain if she wants to be seen by the witch. Curiosity soon gets the better of her, though, and she peeks in the kitchen to see what's happening. A neck snaps her way, and closed set of mismatched eyes greet her.
Oh, Penelope! Just in time! I'm almost done with breakfast.
The mere mention of food causes Penelope's stomach to growl. She hasn't eaten since yesterday, and the physical sensation of hunger is starting to creep up on her. She steps out from behind her hiding place, still keeping her distance. With the overwhelming scent of rot, she has no idea what Amanita could be making.
Breakfast? Yes, the specifics slip my mind, but humans eat every day, do they not? I figured this was the least I could do to help you feel comfortable. I had no need for food myself, so I had to find something you could eat. I hope it's to your liking.
After the last bit of preparations, Amanita hums to herself. She turns around, smiling brightly, as she holds out the dilapidated dish to Penelope. We're about to see, like, a terrible CG, aren't we? Oh, gosh. Oh! Oh, no! Oh! Oh! I should have seen this coming, but I didn't. Oh, man. I still stand by the fact that I don't think she's evil. I think she's actually trying. I think she's just terrible at this.
It's French crow. Would you care to try?
Penelope blinks. Her vision starts to blur, so she blinks again. She blinks again, and again, and again, until it becomes dizzying, but the scene before her never changes.
That's...
She swallows thickly, her eyes having to fall on the crow's own. They're glazed over or popped out of his socket. The exposed optic nerve is the only thing that's keeping it still connected to his broken body. She opens her mouth to speak, but all that escapes is a single faint croak.
There's no need to be shy. We're friends now, are we not? It's only natural to make gifts for friends.
Oh.
Gotta save. I heard this game has 2 endings, so I think this is like the only choice. It's interesting that there's not a yes, it's just refuse or stay quiet. I don't know which one is the... Well, I'm gonna do both endings, so we'll just... I'm just gonna go with my gut and go with refuse.
Please, Penelope, I worked so hard to prepare it just right. It's all for you.
Yeah, no, No.
It was made with love. You'll break my heart if you refuse. Is that what you desired? You wish for all my efforts to go to waste? Penelope, I am asking you nicely. So nicely. Eat it. Ooh. You will, truly. How splendid. I'm so glad to see you're taking care of yourself. Now let us not waste any more time. Enjoy. The girl grabs the crow by the head. Nails digging into the skull like talons, she twists the neck, only ripping it off once a satisfying snap reaches her eardrums. Her hands are drenched in red. A color she's become all too familiar with. It once suffocated her, but now something feels different. It's warm, gentle, beautiful, like white amaryllis that has bloomed crimson. Bloody pours from the decapitated head, every drop crashing down without mercy. Who knew such a tiny body could hold so much love inside? It makes her stomach howl. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Was she to deny what she needs? What is there to gain from throwing away this labor of immortal love? Teeth pierce the animal's dainty skull. It caves and cracks, a splitting crunch bouncing off the pulsating walls. Loose feathers and fragments of broken skin and bone dance in the mouth. It chews slowly, savoring every taste and texture there is, and finally swallows it down. The brain is spongy and larger than expected for a mere bird, but still so fragile. Chunks of soft tissue are lodged between the teeth, soaking them in a colorless fluid.
Not to take away from the moment, but I still think this is her grandpa, and this is terrifying.
It is simply divine. A taste of heaven grazing the maw of a starving animal. The helpless predator has finally managed to snag its delectable prey. Although this hunger is quelled, the stomach only festers. The heart, grab the heart, claim the heart, bear those fangs, dig in. It's a labor of love meant to be devoured whole. All for her, and all for him. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it! Eat it.
Oh, hey, he's okay. That was weird. Anyways.
I'm going to throw up. I need to get out.
Oh, was that crow not supposed to be there, maybe? She just left? I don't know. Okay,
I can find my way to town just fine. I need to get out of here. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. The storm is still far too harsh for you to navigate safely. You only hurt yourself further if you try. I know that you do not like me nor my home, Penelope. I was staying here as the only option you have until the weather's cleared. Poor child, I feel horrible. Please come back inside. I will prepare you a fresh cup of tea to calm your nerves, and we may discuss things further.
Now that I think about it, did the crow ever talk in front of her? She may not have known the crow was sent. No, wait, no, she did. She talked to the crow.
The witch holds out her hand, her seamed hand. Penelope stares down at it, not speaking a word. Broken and drained of energy, she fears she has no other options right now.
Okay, so I want to see if anything was different if we stayed silent real quick. I'm thinking that might not have been the choice. It looks like that was pretty forced. Alright, stay quiet.
Please, please, Penelope, I worked so hard to prepare just right. It's all for you. It was made with love. You'll break my heart if you refuse. Is that what you desire for all my efforts to go to waste? Penelope, I'm asking you so nicely. So nicely. Eat it.
Yeah, okay, it's the same. It's the same. We'll cut back to where we were.
Broken and drained of energy, she fears she has no other options right now. She gives in, stepping back inside the house without touching Amanita's hand. A dim flame burns in what looks to be a fireplace. The soft crackle paired with the sounds of raindrops would be relaxing. But the stench of death emanating from the walls only worsens the sense of unease.
Here's your tea, Penelope. It's still hot, so be careful.
Penelope takes the cup. Although it's slightly chipped in some places, it's the only thing she has seen and felt in this house that isn't completely consumed by decay. She grazes her thumb along the outside, finding comfort in the familiar texture. She breathes deeply, her eyes locked on the subtle reflection in the liquid.
Penelope?
Amanita, now seated, speaks to the girl in a gentle voice. Her fingers tap the surface of a teacup at a rhythmic pace.
I know there's not much to do here, but you're more than welcome to treat this place as you would your own home. Amanita's shoulders lower.
Amanita's shoulders lower instinctively as she sighs.
I suppose it's hard when you're not used to living conditions such as these. I apologize. I understand you do not wish to stay here, but I hope you understand why I cannot let you leave right now. The forest can be a dangerous place for humans to navigate alone. I'm sure I do not need to explain that to you, yes? You've lived here your whole life, yes? And with a storm as violent as this one, I fear you may get hurt. Or worse, die. This home is the only shelter for kilometers. Unless you yearn for death, this is your only option. Even your own home is too far to traverse to safely. Penelope, you do not yearn for death, do you? You're quite young for a human, so it'd be ridiculous for you to, you know. Oh, what am I talking about? I'm just making assumptions. It's just that I worry for you. I will not let you leave until the conditions are right, so please, do not try. In the end, everything I am doing is for your own good.
Thoughts fill Penelope's mind as Amanita's words hang in the air. She stares deeper into her reflection, but the details of her face muddled together to the point it is no longer recognizable. Amanita's fingers cease tapping. She frowns, head tilting downwards as she speaks.
If you wish to take your drink elsewhere into the house, you may go right ahead. If you'd rather throw it away, that is also fine with me.
After granting Penelope permission, Amanita stands up, taking her tea with her. A sharp click sound is the last thing Penelope hears before the footsteps fade away. Long after she's left the room, Penelope looks up. She turns her head to where Amanita went, only to find nobody there. Okay, another choice.
look around.
If you leave, you'll get hurt.
Oh,
If you leave, you get hurt. It's funny. Mother would always say the same thing. If I never left home in the first place, would I be here now? Guess if I'm stuck here, I should find something to keep busy. I don't think I can go back to sleep like this.
Penelope sets the full teacup down on the floor before rising from the couch. She figures now would be the time to familiarize herself with her surroundings. For it's a struggle to make heads or tails of this place. Everything blends together in a monstrous cacophony of flesh. Identifying anything is nearly impossible.
What is that?
Tucked against one of the walls appears to be a sizable shelf. It's lined top to bottom in books. They're all tattered and torn, but surprisingly not contaminated. Is this supposed to be like a bookshelf? Everything's so goopy. Curious, Penelope slips one out of the shelves. The cover hangs by a thread, donning text that has faded to the point it's nearly impossible to read.
It must have been read a lot.
She comments absentmindedly as she opens the first page. It looks to be the book's title again.
The Little Lost Lamb.
The writing is done by hand. Every letter seems to have been written intricately and with care. Even with its age and smudges, it's mostly legible. Nothing else to do, Penelope turns the page and starts reading.
Once upon a time, there lived a family full of sheep. Donning wool so white and beautiful, they were sought after by hungry wolves. In their pasture, a great fence protected them from harm's way. Happily, they lived together as one. One day, Mother Sheep gave birth to a strange lamb. It was different from its brother and sister. Its body and wool were dark as the night.
"This isn't right," cried the
Mother Sheep.
"Why is this baby so different?"
She looked toward the little lamb with anger and confusion in her eyes. Had she done something wrong? Was her child sick? She did not know. The little lamb was treated poorly by its family. Father Sheep bossed it around ruthlessly, while Mother Sheep could not look her own creation in the eyes. Its siblings left the little lamb out of every game they played, making up new rules to exclude it. They would not let it eat meals with them or even let it be near them.
Sorry, this game is for pretty lambs only,"
said Sister. If you want to play with us, you have to be like us, commented Brother. The little lamb always played alone, always ate alone, slept alone. It watched its family from afar, never fully understanding why things had to be this way. One night, the little lamb, now a fully grown sheep, decided to run away. It could not handle the abuse any longer. The black sheep jumped over the fence and ran to the forest. It had no clue where it was going, but it never stopped moving. Lost and alone, the black sheep no longer had a place to rest or call home. The journey to nowhere was exhausting, so it decided to lie down on a bed of flowers. As the black sheep closed its eyes, a voice called out to it. It looked up and saw a human girl dressed in red. Sheep are not supposed to be this deep in the forest. Do you know there are wolves out here? They could gobble you up. The girl kneeled down and gently patted the black sheep's head. The touch startled the black sheep, and nipped her hand in retaliation. Ouch! She cried. What was that for? That was very mean. The black sheep could not reply and turned its head away. Are you lost? You must be scared. I'm sorry for touching you so suddenly. Let me make it up to you. The girl reached into her basket, pulling out a fresh apple. She held it out to the black sheep and waited for it to take a bite. The black sheep had not eaten in some time, and its stomach grumbled like a howling wolf.
With great hesitance, the black sheep took a bite. It was delightfully delicious. The girl smiled as the black sheep gobbled up the apple. She was mesmerized by the creature. I've never seen a sheep with black wool before. You're very beautiful, the girl said, standing back up. I'm trying to find a way out of this forest. Would you like to join me? Everyone at home would love you. The black sheep was confused. Nobody had ever said such kind words to it. Was it not a monstrosity? A mutation? A mistake? The girl's smile was warm and welcoming. With newfound energy and a full belly, the black sheep followed the girl. It's gonna be dinner, isn't it? She's gonna make it like a sweater out of it. The girl and the black sheep wandered the forest together. They napped together, they shared food together. The black sheep was happy. It had finally made a friend. Days passed, still stuck in the forest. The girl had run out of food in her basket. Every day they would walk past the same trees they had seen 1,000 times. It seemed there was no way out of this forest. The girl and the black sheep took a break under a particularly large tree. The girl was exhausted. Her stomach growled painfully and her throat was agonizingly dry. She did not know how much energy she had left. The black sheep was feeling weak as well. It could no longer keep up with the girl, and hunger fogged its mind. It did not believe it could keep going like this. I'm so hungry, the girl wept, but there's nothing left to eat. The black sheep could not bear to see the girl in so much pain. Realizing what it must do, it bumped her shoulder with its head. Eat me, it wanted to say. Eat me so you can keep going. The girl smiled pitifully and shook her head. There was no way she could hurt something she loved so dearly. I cannot, she told the black sheep. She began to pet on the head. Her touch was gentle and caring. I want you to eat me, and you will have enough energy to escape this forest. You are very beautiful. I'm sure if anyone else saw you, they would fall in love, just like I did. There's nobody waiting for me at my home. My future is non-existent. The girl begged the black sheep, never pulling her hand away. The black sheep did not understand the request, did not understand anything at all. But it could not say no to the girl's pleading eyes. The black sheep dug its teeth into the girl's flesh. It ate, and ate, and ate. Its black wool now stained with red, and the girl had stopped breathing. Although the black sheep's stomach was now full, it lacked the energy to keep going. It curled up next to the girl, resting its head in her lap. It cried. It cried and cried and cried and cried until it ran out of tears to spill. The black sheep closed its eyes. Together they slept for all eternity. The end. That's it? That's how it ends? What the hell? Where's the fun in a story where everyone suffers the whole time? I don't like it. Well, there are other books I can read instead. One of them is bound to have a better ending. Oh gosh. Penelope fixates on the drawing of the characters cuddled up together. A sinking sensation fills her stomach, yet she cannot look away. She closes the book and puts it back on the shelf. Taking another look at her options, most of them appear equally ancient, dilapidated. The only thing setting them apart being their size. Her fingers land on a book unlike the rest. A crimson gooey mass covers part of the binding, as if being taken over by decay. She pulls it out, careful not to get her hands any dirtier, and looks at the cover. With no details on the book itself, it's a struggle to discern what it could actually be about. Bound together by heart and blood, she can't even open the first page, so she looks for one she can open. As expected, the page's contents are heavily obscured. Although the handwriting seems neat, the smudges and decay make it difficult to discern. My My work has the humans in this town are not aware. This way I revive beauty, and there's a problem. There is a woman who can... She appeared from... And she... To me, like she did everyone else. How? When she did not... She continued, and I did not... She sat in front of my... She was waiting for an opportunity to... As expected. Cannot be reasoned with. She... Again today, she made... And handed me this drawing. She claimed the flowers, my home. I had never seen something so...
Is this one even meant to be a story? I can't read a lot of these words, so it's hard to tell. Maybe I can ask Amanita about it? She wouldn't mind, would she? Something tells me that this story doesn't have a happy ending either, though. At least the drawing is pretty. Penelope flips to another page.
Roughly halfway through the book, it appears to be more of the same, however, as most of the words are completely illegible and contaminated.
Well, this drawing is also nice. I wonder why it isn't so dirty. Raging storm. She came to town. She always did, apparently. She came to me. She only wanted return to her home. I do not know why, but I felt something in my chest. Her leaving did not sit right with me. She asked, join her. She said enough room for... I did not sleep soundly in the company of another. It is wrong, but happened again. I would not be opposed. If she were to learn, would she still be okay? I get the feeling I shouldn't be reading this. It's not very entertaining anyway.
She says as her thumb continues to graze the unruly pages. She skims through a few entries, but they all appear to be more of the same. Just about to give up, she lands on something odd. At a glance, it appears all empty. No charming drawings, no walls of clouded text, no pulp stuck to the edges or bleeding into the sheet. She initially assumes it's just an unused page, but residing in the center of the page, there sits a single sentence composed of trembling letters.
I was found out.
She rereads the sentence, but she doesn't gain anything from it. When she rereads it again, nothing changes. She blinks, but it doesn't do anything. She could ask Amanita, but she's not convinced she wants to in the first place.
I don't want to read this anymore. Is something the matter, Penelope?
This sudden voice causes Penelope to jump. In a panicked haste, she shoves the book back into the shelf without thought. She turns around, taking a step back when she sees Amanita suddenly in front of her.
Where did you come from? Why, I live here, remember, silly child? I see you found my personal library. How delightful, but what is it you were reading that made you frown so sadly? Rest assured, I only collect happy stories.
You had a weird idea, happy lady. The witch steps beside Penelope, carefully picking out the book Penelope so hastily crammed into shelves. Amanita sighs, murmuring something to herself before speaking louder.
Oh dear, this one should not be here at all. How clumsy of me, it's unfit for the eyes of a child.
She turns to Penelope with a nebulous smile on her face. Her words come off stilted and unnatural.
You did not see anything unfortunate in this book, did you? That's...
Penelope hesitates. Her brain cycles through countless responses all at once, yet nothing can escape her lips. Amanita huffs a wavering breath. A faint trace of sweat trickles down the right side of her face.
So you did. What a shame. Perhaps I should have watched you more carefully. Living in a house like this is already troubling enough for a human. Shall I find you a more appropriate book to read? Here, allow me to... Did you write that?
The question cuts Amanita off and bounces off the walls. leaving behind a comfortless silence. Her mouth hangs open, unmoving. I mean, I couldn't read a lot, but the mention of humans made me wonder if maybe it was, you know. Penelope's question trails off as she doubts her own words. Her eyes dart along the room, hoping to look anywhere that isn't Amanita's uncanny expression. It's just people don't talk about others like that, and you're not human yourself, so...
That's enough. Yeah, you may read this book instead and go back to your room. I would like some time to clean up.
Amanita takes another book from the shelves. It's the same one Penelope read earlier.
I will prepare you something else to eat come nightfall, so please wait until your room until then. Do you understand, Penelope?
I don't want to do that.
I do not want this either, but this is the way things have to be. Please go upstairs. I would hate for you to see something unpleasant. As if I've seen anything pleasant since coming here.
Despite having no interest in the book, Penelope accepts it, and slowly trudges up the stairs without another word. Something in her heart tells her that it'd be worse to try and speak. Not quite ready to fall into her guts-ridden bed, Penelope first heads to the window. Or what you would call a window. As expected, the storm hasn't calmed in the slightest. The clouds cover the sky, and the sun hardly has a chance to shine. Are you okay, Benny?
Oh, it was a different crow. Oh, thank God. Oh. Okay. See? So she's not bad, because it wasn't the sentient crow. It's fine.
Crow, you're still here?
In the flesh.
That's a bad joke.
Is it now? You'll have to forgive me, kid, but I'm just an old man trying to lighten the mood. Penelope's brows furrow. The sorrow on her face shifts into something else entirely.
You're not an old man, you're a crow. What can be done to lighten the mood right now? I can't leave this place. I haven't eaten since yesterday. I'm trapped with a witch who insists she's trying to help me.
Huh. So does that mean she didn't eat the crow then? If she says she hasn't eaten since yesterday? Or did she sleep between then? No, she didn't sleep between then. What the heck? Huh.
I can't leave this place. I haven't eaten since yesterday, and I'm trapped with a witch who insists she's trying to help me. But what kind of help is this? A cup of tea doesn't fill an empty stomach. A book about dead sheep doesn't give me any hope. House of Flesh doesn't make me feel welcomed. It makes me want to vomit. I can't stand it anymore. Either let me out of here or just finish me off, please.
Penny, you know that both those requests are.
I never said you could call me that. You and Amanita are just assuming what's good for me, but neither of you know anything about me. I'm supposed to just accept this? I'm supposed to just be happy? What if this storm never ends? What if she never lets me leave? What if she has to have the decency to even eat me? Should I just let all this happen because I'm a child?
Penelope.
You lied to me. You told me you would watch over me, but when I woke up, you were gone. Why? Why didn't you say anything? Until now, you didn't say anything either. You didn't care. I'm scared. I've lost everything. You're the only one I can talk to right now, but I can't even tell if you're trying to help me or not. You're just trying to torture me, at least be honest. I can't hold on to fake hope any longer.
The crow is completely still. His clouded eyes are cast down, seemingly in regret. Penelope's words hang in the air. The silence feels more deafening than ever. With a heavy and frustrated sigh, she throws the book aside with force. She wipes her tears from her eyes, only for them to be immediately replaced. Her lip quivers as she weeps, and she sits down on the rotten bed in defeat. The crow flies atop the bed, standing beside her. She doesn't dare spare him a glance. You're right. I did lie. I did leave you. That's entirely my own fault. I wish to help Amanita find and prepare food for you to eat. But I see that was a disaster. Penelope's hands balled into fists as she let out another trembling breath.
And after?
After, well, I have an excuse to give. Not one that you'll like, at least. I believe there to be a time for bonding between you two without my intervention.
I mean, I'm sorry, but you, like, that is literally a bird brain move. You serve her another crow, and that looks like you, and she's not gonna assume it's you, and then you don't just freaking disappear. Also, I'm wondering if she just blacked out eating the crow. I don't know.
I was wrong.
That excuse is awful.
I only wanted you to see you escape your shell, kiddo. Perhaps I got too wrapped up in the idea. You'll still allow me to. I'll keep that promise I made to you. I will watch over you and ensure you are safe. There's not much more a mere crow can do, but there's plenty he can try. This old man will try his darndest. If he messes up, go ahead and yell at him with all your might again. Letting out anger can heal his soul, you know. Penelope finally looks at the crow. His expression is tough to read, but his voice exudes sincerity. Although she cannot bring herself to smile, her tears start to slow. She wipes her eyes once again.
You promise?
On my life, kiddo.
So I can kill you if you lie?
When did you get so violent, huh? That's not like you. But if you feel it's a fitting punishment, you're free to try.
Yeah. Okay, I won't. I just want to make sure you were serious. I'll definitely get mad at you if you do that again.
I hear you. Something about the crow's words feel off, though reassuring. They twist Penelope's heart in a way she hasn't felt in some time. She has to wonder if this whole situation is simply making her go crazy.
Hey, Crow?
Yes, kiddo?
What about Amanita?
What about her?
I mean, you're obviously friends, right? So I figure you know a lot about her.
A lot is a strong thing to say. Truth is, there's plenty I do not know about. But I do know that she's never meant any harm, and that she, too, is struggling severely. Perhaps in ways neither of us could ever really understand.
Is that so?
When you've lived for as long as she has, you're bound to have some scars to show. When I found this place, she only treated me with kindness. She welcomed me without question. And although I couldn't speak yet, she didn't think any less of me. She was the one who granted me that ability, you know? Even though it took a toll on her own body to do so. When I tell you that she means more to me than I can express, even with words, I mean it.
I see. It's just... this is all really scary, and there's so much she won't tell me. It's hard to trust someone like her.
I'm not asking you to trust her, kid. That's up to you in the end. But just because she's not human doesn't mean she's a monster. All I'm saying is, she's not out to get you. If Amanita was going to eat you like a scary witch or wolf, she would have done so by now. She has no reason to wait or play mind games with you. She's lonely, just like you and me. She's got secrets she wants to keep, just like you and me. And she's broken, just like you and me. But she's doing whatever she can to try and help. I led you here because I believed it was the safest place for you. Even if this house has an ugly exterior. And if you give the woman a little more grace, you might realize she's not all bad.
Broken.
The word falls out of Penelope's mouth faintly, yet naturally. She laments on it, wondering if that changes anything for her right now. Is it really okay, so long as Amanita means well, or because she acts out of pain? questions pace restlessly in her brain, but she struggles to come up with a single answer she feels content with. I think I need to rest more. Out of energy, huh? Your day's been tough. Don't force yourself. I'll watch over you, kid. That's a promise I won't break. Okay, thank you. With her head woozy and her body weak, she finally lies down and closes her eyes. She passes out in an instant despite being and is unbothered by the texture of the bed. After the sun sets, Penelope is woken up. Amanita offers dinner again, but Penelope declines. The storm has stopped, but without any light in the sky, it's decided Penelope won't leave until tomorrow. Just before Amanita allows Penelope to more rest, the girl asks if she can have some tea. Amanita happily agrees. She returns in a flash with a fresh cup and bids Penelope and the crow goodnight. It's good, she doesn't really drink anything. It tastes good. Hey! So that's an interesting spot for it to end. Where it's just like, hey, things aren't as bad as they seem. Oh, this is a demo! Okay, so there's like more. Okay. That's really cool. Okay, so I'm curious if we had picked to go straight to bed. Oh. Do all stories have to come to an end? The lives of human beings are fleeting, and books only allow us a peek into those brief lives. Those books don't always begin with their birth, nor do they always end with their death. So long as there's paper to write on, the story may go on. Endlessly and endlessly for all eternity. How do you conclude a story when there are still untouched pages begging to be used? How do you continue a story when you have run out of pages to fill? The scrapbook still carries countless empty sheets, but if I put a quill to paper, all I am left with is a blotch of black ink. If I were to write a happy ending, one where you return to me, would it eventually come true? How might I even begin to write a story such as that? I shall leave these pages unwritten, covered in dust and decay, and pick up that quill again once I find the motivation to go on. Even if it takes centuries, I shall wait for you. When you come back, will you teach me how to write and live like a human being? This story cannot end until you are here to experience it. Okay. Let's check out and see if that other ending goes anywhere, and then I'll give my, final thoughts. So what happens if we go right back to bed? I can't leave until the storm clears, is that right? I'll just sleep this off then, I'm too tired to do anything else. Penelope rises from the couch. While the fireplace provides a much-needed warmth, the idea of sleeping in this room doesn't sit well with her. Taking a cup of tea with her, she trudges up the stairs and back into the bedroom. Entering the bedroom, Penelope's eyes immediately scan the room to see if anyone else is around. Crow? To her chagrin, she cannot find a sign of life in the room. A horrible feeling pools in her stomach. Even he really is gone. What do I do now? Is there anything I can do anymore? She lets out a shaking breath and her eyebrows furrow hard enough to give her a headache. She sets her teacup down on the nightstand. The tea has gone cold without even a single sip taken from it. Although she's awfully dehydrated, she doesn't care. I should just go to bed. Maybe this will be over when I wake up. The storm will end and I can go to town and forget this place even existed. Right? Penelope reaches her hand out toward the window, letting the harsh droplets wash her skin. Her eyes cast toward the ground outside as she indulges in the sensation. It's a long way down, but it's the only way out besides the front door. It's too dangerous. I'll get hurt if I try. Penelope turns away from the window, retracting her wet hand in the process. As tired as she is, the last thing she wants to do is lie back down on the putrid mattress. The mere thought makes her shiver. Her eyes wander the room aimlessly, perhaps only as an excuse to not yet fall asleep. She hadn't properly looked around last night, so curiosity is now starting to eat away at her. Although, the longer she's spent in this house, the more it all blends together. With the furniture covered in coagulated blood and flesh, there's little for Penelope to gain from investigating besides a growing nausea. Still, her eyes land on the very nightstand she set her tea on. Like everything else in the house, it's overtaken by viscera. Looking deeper, however, is a drawer. She inhales deeply in preparation before attempting to open it. To her surprise, the drawer pulls out effortlessly. Inside, she finds a small box tucked away in a corner. With its old wooden surface, it appears completely out of place in comparison to the fleshy walls it's trapped in. Without any hesitation, Penelope takes the box and clicks it open.
A sewing kit?
The box contains various blades, pins, and needles, alongside some thimbles and heaps of red thread. Though everything here appears ancient, they're still in decent condition.
It's missing a lot of supplies, no pin pillow, scissors like golden door, no measuring tools, and what's with all the red thread or these cutters? Who needs that many?
It's probably how she's repairing herself.
She sighs
in confusion, taking out one of the many loose blades that's more comparable to a knife than anything needed for sewing. Though crosses Penelope's mind for a moment, but considering the rust accumulated on the dull blade, she discards it. Looking at her options, they all appear to be in similar state, all dull yet clean of any sort of bloodshed.
Seriously, why are these here?
Figuring she's seen enough, Penelope puts everything back and latches the box shut. She closes the door and slumps onto the bed, ready to drift off.
Tomorrow I'll get out of here. Tomorrow, and even if I'm alone, I'll do it.
And who said you would be alone?
Huh?
Penelope sits straight up in surprise. The crow stands at the foot of the bed, smiling with his eyes.
Crow?
Did you forget about me? That's no way to treat your elders.
Is that really you? Where have you been? I was terrified this morning, you know.
Forgive me, kiddo. I had some things to discuss with Amanita, you see, and I couldn't let that breakfast she made go to waste either.
Oh, that was breakfast.
Breakfast.
The mere mention of it makes Penelope feel like puking again. Her stomach swirls uncomfortably as she gulps, a faint taste of bile burning in her throat.
So far, it actually seems different. Like, I was expecting it to loop back in when we got to the crow, but...
Have you been here the entire time? You just didn't talk to me? That's mean, Crow. You broke the promise you made to me. I really thought you died.
Died? I was with you come breakfast time, Penny. I'm afraid I don't understand.
Oh, it was a hallucination.
You don't? Of course you don't. You even understand anything I'm going through? I'm trapped in a disgusting house with a witch. If I try to leave, I'll die, but if I stay, I'll just be tortured. I can't even tell what she wants from me. She says she wants to help, but how can I know that? In stories, witches are liars. They hurt people for fun. I'm meant to trust her? If she killed me, nobody would look for me because I don't have anybody anymore. I'm the easiest target there is. You know all this, don't you? That's why you brought me here, because crows will lead you to your death.
I'm afraid you misunderstood the situation, Penny. But that is not to say I fault you for it. Amanita, well, she's a complicated case, so to say. Untrustworthy at a glance, but pure of heart. Purity does not mean she can do no wrong, but rather that she has no intent of harming you.
And I'm supposed to believe that?
You mentioned witches earlier, how they exist to bring humans turmoil. Have you considered that Amanita might not even be one in the first place? This is what I'm saying. Maybe the stories say one thing, but just because it's written out doesn't make it true. I thought you were the kind of kid to question that stuff instead of blindly believing it. There's only so much you can learn through words on a page. It's not till you experience something yourself that you can really know how you feel. Now, I'm not blaming you for your fears, Penny. All things considered, you have every reason to be suspicious. What I'm saying is that there exists a world beyond superstitions and stories.
What happened to that kid who liked to live a little, break the rules, and look for answers in places you aren't supposed to? Being all cautious like this, why, it doesn't fit you at all, kiddo. The crow lets out a jovial laugh as if trying to lighten the mood. Although the voice is unfamiliar to Penelope, the words themselves harbor a feeling of unexplainable nostalgia. A tinge of nausea festers in her stomach again, but the taste of bile is absent. Even with the crow's reassuring words, she cannot find a reply for herself. But I guess this situation would kill the light in anyone's eyes, huh? So don't beat yourself up over it. You're going through enough as is. I just like giving you a little trouble. When I say we're both trying to help you, I mean it. Whether you want to see things that way is up to you in the end. I won't force you either way. Thanks for listening to this old man ramble anyhow.
Penelope's gaze casts to the floor, a whirlwind of emotions and questions running through her mind. As it stands now, she wonders if there's anything further to be gained by questioning the crow. Her curiosity, as always, gets the better of her, and she finally finds the ability to speak. How can you say everything so certainly?
Her voice is quiet yet firm, practically accusatory. Her eyes meet the crow's own. Before the crow can respond, Penelope continues.
Not talking about Amanita right now. I figured you two knew each other already. I mean about me. You talk about the kind of person I am as if we're close, but I'd never spoken to you before yesterday. And that name, nobody calls me that name anymore. Even my own mother never used it. Why do you?
Is that all you're wondering about?
No, of course not, but it's not something I can ignore. Ever since Grandpa died, crows have tormented Mother. They'd surround our house and follow us on the way to town. Mother hated crows more than anything. She'd shoo them away, but one would always come back. Is that you? Just how long have you been following me around?
The crow turns his head to the side, letting out a deep hum. After a moment of contemplation, he responds, "What do you think the answer is?"
Whatever I think doesn't change how secretive you've been with me. You seem to know so much about me, but I don't know a thing about you. I want to trust you, but how can I?
So that is how you feel. I see. I'm afraid there's just too much I can't tell you right now, even if I wanted to.
Why can't you? What's stopping you? It's not fair.
It's just the way things have to be for now. Perhaps one day I'll be able to, but for now, this is simply how things have to be. Tell you what, kiddo. Watch over you as you sleep the entire time. No excuses, no nothing. But go back on your word. You feel free to hate me for it. Hell, yell at me if you wanna. I could use a good reprimanded, you know? It's been too long. This old man will do what he's gotta to get you feeling safe. So what do you say?
One more thing. I don't want you to call me Penny.
Oh, is that all?
I still don't feel completely safe, but I'll feel better if you don't use that name for me. It's not for you to use. When you call me Penny, it makes my skin itch. I hate it.
I hear you, I hear you. No more Penny then. That'll make you feel better?
Yeah, it would.
I'll do my best then, kiddo. Now what do you think about getting some more rest? You're looking pretty rough, you know?
Yeah, that's mean. I'm going through a lot.
She wipes her tired eyes, suddenly more aware of the exhaustion she feels. You know, I'm just giving you a hard time. But you'll be okay in the end, Penelope. I'll do what I can to make sure of it. And the first step is getting a little extra shut-eye. There's not much else to do in these parts anyhow.
You promise you'll keep me safe?
However I can, I will. Now I'm wondering if that crow was actually like Crow. Or if it was something else and she just was having like a panic attack. Or if it was just a different crow. And she didn't notice him still being there because she was focused on the regular crow. See, that whole eating scene had so much going on for this to just be happening like this, and there's no... Maybe she was just having a hallucination because she's not eaten and not slept and all that. not drink.
Okay, I'll rest then. Penelope lies back down, resting her head against the pillow. As uncomfortable as it eases the pounding in her head ever so slightly. Tucking herself in, her eyes droop shut almost immediately. With a fading voice, she speaks. Good night, Crow. See you tomorrow? Once the words leave Penelope's mouth, her consciousness fades, and she falls into a deep slumber. Tomorrow, yes. I'm looking forward to it, Penny. Seems you really were tuckered out, huh? Not that I blame you. Get some rest.
Penelope, are you here? Oh my, would you look at that? She's asleep. Have you been here the entire time, Apollo? I was wondering where you went after you finished breakfast.
Someone has to keep watch of the girl. The last thing she needs right now is to be alone. Did you come to tell her about the storm finally ending?
Yes, that is one reason, but I was also going to offer her dinner. Or if she's asleep, perhaps it's best not to wake her. She's just asleep, yes. From my understanding, humans will die if they go too long without proper nutrition.
Knowing how she's feeling, I doubt she'd be interested in accepting food from you. Even if you're making something edible this time. Most folk aren't good with guts and gore. A place like this would kill anyone's appetite, even if they're starving.
I see. Right, that's quite silly of me to suggest. I am simply not familiar with humanity.
Don't gotta tell me twice. What were you planning on making her anyway?
Found a cookbook with a recipe for mushroom soup. If the book was written by a human, then it must be safe for consumption.
Mushroom soup, huh? She'd like that very much. Maybe you should have looked in these cookbooks to start instead of going with your gut.
So it wasn't a crow the first time, it was just a different crow. Oh my god. I'm sorry, that's just... Man.
My apologies.
I'm just giving you a hard time. It's my specialty. Why not make it for her in the morning, to give her energy for the road to town? I'm sure she'll need it.
Of course, you know Penelope best.
Amanita's head turns down to look at the sleeping girl. She looks peaceful, no smile nor frown to be seen on her face. Amanita kneels on the ground, meeting Penelope closer to eye level, and smiles sadly. With a torn hand dressed in red seams, she reaches out, patting the child delicately on the head. Every word leaving her mouth comes out a whisper, not wanting to wake the child, but still hoping to be heard.
The storm is over, Penelope. You have nothing to worry about anymore. Tomorrow you may leave this awful place and forget it ever existed. I am sorry this is the only place you could find refuge in. And I'm sorry that you had to be stuck with a being like myself. I know I'm untrustworthy. But I must confess, I worry what will happen to you tomorrow morning when you arrive in town. Humanity is not always kind even to their own people. They were certainly not always kind to her. I know my home is unsightly, but if you wish to continue staying here, I would happily allow it.
You know that staying here long term is not ideal for Amanita. I've never seen the girl as scared and broken as she is now. Even if you support her, you can't guarantee she'll flourish here. At least in town, she'll be surrounded by her own people, and she'll have access to food she can eat. I know it's scary letting her out on her own, but until you make changes for yourself, her going out is the best option right now.
I know. But if I cannot see her, how will I know she's okay?
I cannot
follow her to town, but here I can't seem to help her in any way that matters. I want to do anything for her sake, but in the end I'm useless. It's an awful, awful feeling.
You and me both. There's not much I can do for her like this either. My eyes and words are all I can offer. I'm unable to even hug her properly. That hurts more than you may imagine. So what can we do? We can only guide her to the safest path. But we also have to allow her to make her own decisions. Finding that balance is difficult, but not impossible. Amanita goes quiet. Her hand still lingers on Penelope's head, gingerly running her fingers through her tangled hair. She sighs, a wave of familiar despair washing over her. Nita, are you going to let her go tomorrow morning? Amanita doesn't respond, letting the silence speak for her. The crow huffs, closing his eyes. So you don't want it, is that it?
I don't know if I could handle losing anyone else again.
What are you going to do tomorrow when she inevitably leaves?
I do not know.
Amanita, by the end of the day, you cannot and should not control Penny. Letting her go may be frightening, but the town is full of good people. She'll be taken care of. And until I can ensure her own happiness, I'll watch over her. If we're truly concerned with her well-being, I'll gladly report to you. So let her do what she needs to do, even if it hurts you. She's her own person, just like us, and just like her.
Right. Just like her.
With those words hanging in the air, Amanita breathes deeply and retracts her quivering hand from Penelope's head.
She takes one last look at the child before shifting her attention towards the nightstand drawer. She notices it isn't closed all the way, but pays it no mind. Rather, she opens it up fully, finding the sweet kit still in place. She hesitates for a moment before taking it, closing the drawer and standing up. As she's about to leave the bedroom, the crow speaks up.
And what do you need that for?
Nothing in particular. You should focus on caring for the child, yes?
Just don't do anything dangerous, you hear?
You worry too much, Apollo. I will be quite alright.
You have all people saying that. That's pretty rich, you know.
Of course. Now, please excuse me.
The crow's eyes narrow, locked on Amanita as she walks towards the door. Despite his worries, he doesn't say anything more.
Good night, Penelope. Let us talk tomorrow.
Wow, so that was like a completely different route then. That was pretty crazy. Fleshhouse Artist Alley. Environmental goes, y'all. First of all, artists, great job. Manhurst, right? XQ, yeah. Just great writing, great art, great story. This was the music and the sound was cool. This was a really cool demo. I'm not gonna lie, with the two spots where you kind of ended it, you could have just ended it there and it would have felt like a full game. So the fact that there's more coming is amazing. The crow's obviously her grandpa. I don't know how. It's kind of weird.
I cannot remember what it felt like on the day that I died. I recall seeing a blinding white light. Before I could realize what was happening, I could no longer move my arms up or down. I could no longer feel them at all. My body became light, as if I were floating higher and higher. But I knew I was falling, down and down, falling endlessly and endlessly for all eternity. I heard the cries of wolves, could not move from the muddy grass. Hopeless, alone, defeated, I let my consciousness fade. Visions of you were all that plagued my mind as I drifted away. Your smile, your laugh, that final, I love you, before you disappeared. I cannot remember what it felt like on the day that I died, but I remember what it felt like to be brought back to life. I am alive. I am breathing. I am a marionette strung together by your undying love. But even though my bones are surrounded by flesh, I can no longer feel the beating of this heart. Do you still love me even though I am incomplete?
Wow. Just wow. Yeah, this is really good. All these people did a really good job. I'm really interested to see kind of where this goes, because they say full story, so they intend to have stuff happen when she goes to town and stuff. When she went to town before, the people seemed super nice. Like, the orphanage offered to feed her and give her a bed if she needed it. I guess there's still, like, what happened to her mom. Maybe it had something to do with the people in town, right? I don't know. It's a shame that her mom saw the crows as, like, harassing her, when the crow is obviously the grandpa. I guess he could have talked, but that would have been weird, and probably would have freaked her out more. It's just... I will say, there's still a lot of questions. I'm okay with leaving things with questions when it comes to stories, if it's, like, good questions, though, where it's, like... these are actually, like, okay, the story feels complete just from this demo alone, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's like, hey, she goes back to town, you could assume that things work out for her, and if they don't, she can go back to Amanitas and figure things out with her and the crow grandpa anyways. But I am excited to see where they take the story next, because where they left this was, like I said, it feels like a good point. And I would like to see some more, like, the questions answered, like, what happened to her mom, how did all this happen, and just all the backstory with Amanita and the girl from before, how Amanita became Amanita, all this stuff is, like, would be really interesting to learn more about. This is a very interesting universe they created. I'm sorry, I keep looking at the picture of her on the screen. It looks very different from the art in the game, and I'm like, man, she looks so much more, like, prim and proper. And then the whole game, she looks like she's having, like, the worst time of her life. I guess that's the before picture, right? This was really good. And you should be proud for making this. This was very solid, and you should feel good about it. Like, honestly, like, I love this. I'm really excited to... I'm going to give you all a follow. I'm excited to see when the full game comes out, and I will probably try and give it a play whenever it does. This was just... I'm sorry, I'm just rambling at this point, but this was just solid. Storytelling, art, all of it. I really felt for the characters. I really felt for the girl. Just... the story really did a good job of making you step into the shoes of this scared, alone girl that has no idea what's going on, or can't trust anything, or doesn't know anything, and for good reason, you know. And I really like the theme of it, kind of calling out these, I wouldn't say double standards, but these, like, assumptions that we make when we see scary stuff. And I'm not going to say they aren't assumptions for good reason. I mean, like, if you see a house made of flesh in real life, I would still recommend running away. You know, I feel like that's a pretty solid call there. I'll stand by that statement. You can put me on record on that. I will defend that statement. But I think it makes a good point of, like, hey, sometimes things aren't always as they seem, and no, people aren't how we see them until we get to know them. And that even applies to things that don't seem like people. And I'm just kind of gonna leave it off on that. For those of you who are still here and enjoyed it, please give the video a like or a comment or subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. I know I upload kind of sporadically, especially now that I'm doing school and stuff, but I do like doing this with you guys, and I think it's always really fun to just kind of, especially these where you just get to kind of read a story together, and we just kind of get to, you know, just cuddle up in a chair and just kind of enjoy the story. So, with that, I will see you guys next time, hopefully, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Or night. Good night.